Bali and Sugriva. Bali, his younger brother, was Sugriva. He was the monkey king of Kishkinda, the son of Indra. The kingdom had a sworn enemy called Mayavi. Tired of its attacks, Bali decided to settle the score. When Bali and Mayavi entered a cave outside till Bali emerged. Time passed during their fight. Sugriva was ordered to keep a watch out, and sounds of the roaring fight wafted to Sugriva's ears. After nearly a year's wait, when neither Bali nor the Rakshasa demon came out, Sugriva, saddened by his brother's death, he went back to Kishriva, thought they had both been killed, Kinda, and became its ruler and made Tara, Bali's wife. Though Sugriva tried to explain the misunderstanding, his queen. However, Bali returned, and seeing Sugriva as king, Bali thought he had been betrayed. Bali attacked and forced him and his team of monkeys to flee Kishkinda. Bali regained his kingship but became an enemy of Sugriva forever. Gajanana. Kubera, the god of wealth, once went to heaven where he met Shiva and Parvati. Very angry, seeing Parvati angry, Kubera became fearful. From his fear emerged a demon called Labhasura, who went to the kingdom of demons. Parvati was so beautiful that Kubera kept looking at her. This made her. There he performed a long tapasya. Pleased, Shiva gave him the boon of fearlessness, went to Mount Kailash, the home of Shiva, and threatened to conquer it. After becoming fearless, Labhasura conquered the 3 worlds. Shiva remembered the boon that he had given Labhasura and left Kailash on his own. Tormented by the cruelty of Labhasura, advised them to worship Ganesha. When the gods went to sage Ravya, who had prayed to him, Ganesha appeared in his Gajanana form. Shiva went to Labhasura and described the strength of Gajanana. Kabandha meets Rama. In the forest, Rama and Lakshmana saw a ferocious demon. His name Sura became fearful and admitted defeat. Was Kabandha. The hungry demon caught hold of them and was about to eat them when the brothers fired arrows and cut off his arms. And Lakshmana introduced themselves. Kabandha bowed in reverence and told them his. As Kabandha lay bleeding, he asked them about their identity. When Rama's story, he said that Brahma had cursed him to change into a demon for his misdeeds, and only if Rama killed him could he get back his earlier form. After changing into a Gandhar, had then begged Rama to end his life. As his body burnt to ashes, a beautiful figure emerged from it. Kabandha advised Rama to seek Sugriva's help and recover Sita. Arjuna and Angarparna. When they were in hiding, the Pandavas came to the river Ganga one night. A warrior came riding in his chariot and shouted, "I am Angarparna. Part of the forest belongs to me, a heavenly being. You can't cross the river here." Arjuna said, "Sacred river Ganga is nobody's property." Angry Angarparna roared, "Warrior, I challenge you to a fight." Hearing this, "You have no idea how strong I am." Now Arjuna was also angry. He said, "You have never fought with a true warrior." Angarparna attacked Arjuna with his sword. Arjuna escaped his blow and threw at him the burning mashtorch that he held. It landed on Angarparna. Angarparna jumped out of his chariot and fainted, went down. When Angarparna came to his senses, he begged for forgiveness. Forgiven by the Pandavas, he presented them with anything at any place and at any time. Chakshushi, the divine sight by which they could see.
Ajay and Malti. A young man named Ajay once went to his in-laws' house to bring his wife, Malti. He insisted on leaving with Malti on a Wednesday. The in-laws tried to stop him, saying that Mercury Wednesday was not favorable for girls on a Ajay did not listen to their advice and took Malti with him. On their way, Malti felt thirsty and asked him to bring water. While he was gone, he came to Malti with water. Malti, Lord Mercury took the form of Ajay and Katie took him to be her husband. When Ajay arrived, he was surprised to see his wife talking to another with him. Malti was very man who looked just like him. He asked Malti to come confused as to who was her real husband. The two men began fighting. Hearing the noise, a soldier came to them. The soldier that they be locked up in separate cells took them to the king to settle the matter. The king was also puzzled and ordered in the prison, while the guards kept a watch. In prison, Ajay remembered his in-laws' words and felt sorry that he had not respected Mercury. Lord Mercury heard this and forgave him. He was very disturbed and all night he did not sleep and prayed for forgiveness. In the morning, the guards told the king that one of the men was restless and could not sleep at night. The king came to the conclusion that he was the real husband. When Rama told Sugriva about Sita's kidnapping, he promised his allegiance to Rama. Sugriva then narrated the story of his exile and sent Malti with him. Bali and Dundubi in the forest. Rama said it was his duty to help his friend, but Sugriva said nobody could help him in his fight against Bali. Enemies lost their strength before him, because by a boon that had been granted to him, all Bali's Sugriva then gave Rama a picture of Bali's might. When Dundubi arrived to fight Bali, he was in his palace in Kishkinda. Then grabbing him by his horns, swirled him. Dundubi thought he would crush the Monkey King easily, but he was proved wrong. Bali accepted the challenge, in the battlefield, lifted the enormous Dundubi from round and round till he lost consciousness. After this, he swung his huge body with such strength that it fell miles away in the forests of Brahmamukha. Brahma and Gayatri. Gayatri is a Vedic hymn, which when recited takes away all our guilt and fear. One day, which in order to be complete, required his wife Saraswati's presence, but she was nowhere to be found. Furious with her for her absence, Brahma was performing a crucial yajna. Brahma asked the priest to fetch any woman for him to marry. The priest went out and found a beautiful shepherdess. She was none other than the same holy hymn of Gayat Lotus. She has 5 heads, the first 4 representing the Vedas, while the last is second companion. Gayatri is depicted as seated on a pink one, represents Lord Brahma himself.
Oh, no. Hey, when you're okay.
Curse on Bali. After Sugriva recited the Dundubi story, he showed Rama the demon's carcass, which lay nearby. He then told Rama the truth, that the famous sage Matang Muni lived in the Rishyamukha mountain about making Rishyamukha his hiding spot. He informed Rutan. When Bali had swung the battered body of Dundubi from Kishkinda, it fell inside his ashram. The sage had become enraged of worship and used to organize his yajnas here. Matang Muni roared because he had built the ashram after years. Who dares to sully my ashram with a blood-smeared corpse? When no answer came, he sat down in deep meditation and discovered the name Bali. They would be destroyed. Sugriva thus added that because Bali would hunt him down wherever he went, he took shelter in these entered the forests of Rishyamukha. Devhuti Manu and Sadarupa had a daughter named Devhuti. She wanted to. Kardama assured would retire to the forests. Manu agreed and got them married. After some years, Devhuti gave birth to 9 daughters, and Kardama got ready to leave. He assured her that if she drowned herself in God's worship, he would help her. Devhuti began worshipping the Lord and was granted a son. Were married off, and under Kapil's son named Kapil. Her daughter guidance, Devhuti began her meditation on the banks of Saraswati. Completely lost in God, she attained salvation at the place which is today known as Siddhipad. Ganesha Raita. Vedvyasa told him that he needed someone to write it. It's the Mahabharata. Vedvyasa was a great poet. He was instructed by Brahma to compose the world's greatest poem, the Mahabharata, down while he composed it. Brahma asked him to pray to Ganesha, because only he could understand and write what Vedvyasa would dictate. Vedvyasa said, "Would you be able?" Vedvyasa prayed to Ganesha. When Ganesha able to write as fast as I dictate? Ganesha in turn challenged him. Would you be able to dictate as fast as I write? Agreement that once started, Vedvyasa wait. They made and Ganesha would not stop writing, and that he would only write what he understood. As they started the Mahabharata, whenever Ganesha wrote difficult verses, Ganesha would take too fast. Vedvyasa would take time to understand them, and in the meantime, Vedvyasa would compose more verses. Thus, the great epic was written.